I'm gonna talk you through a little bit today about how I pass Sec Plus. How can you pass it too? So I put together some basics, which include the following: create a daily schedule, 1 to 2 hours every day. That way, you're gonna create consistency and learn by volume, which is essential for this type of exam. The secondly, your studies should revolve on the exam objectives. Like Professor Messer says, what's on the exam objectives, that's exactly what you're going to see. Maybe some test questions here or there, but the main event will be the exam objectives. So make sure you know them all. Third thing that I wrote, which works for me, is that I need to take notes. So I'm gonna show you a little bit into detail what that entails, but definitely take notes of the objectives and make sure you read them and reread them. That would be basically your source of study when you compile your guide. Next thing, challenge what you learn. Do quizzes, do exams. I'm gonna provide you some sources where you can definitely see all that. I always say there's no point in just reading or watching videos because if you don't see like a practical question where it makes you, scratch your brain, then imagine if that takes you by surprise at the exam day. 80-80 rule, that's a very important one. I'm gonna go into detail in that one. Uh, the other one is try and do labs and practical exercises. There's a couple of websites for that. I only use Master Learn, but there's also Try Hack Me. The other point is have multiple sources because maybe you don't like like the way Professor Messer said it, but maybe Dion explains it in a way that you can get it. Or even ChatGPT. I didn't add it in there, but ChatGPT was an essential tool for me in, for example, comparison. I had no idea what serverless and microservices was, and I asked it like, "Hey, ED5 microservices and serverless," and it explained it like I was a child and I loved it. That's how I got it. And lastly, don't forget to rest. Rest is essential for your in between your study sessions, however you feel like it. But resting is very important to retaining information. All right. First thing, create a schedule. What I use for my schedule is this notebook right here. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but this, I write everything that I will do and I cross it out. And this gives me a meaning of, all right, I see that I'm advancing or I need to put in some more work. And by seeing it written, I can organize my thoughts and know what I will do, and I'm tracking everything. So anything that it's written down is gonna happen. Unless I cross it out like that, then I didn't do it. So I just push it to the next day. And I put like my goals and stuff like that. I bought this at Target with my wife. I also bought her this. Definitely get like a schedule. Do it either daily or weekly, and it will definitely help in your organization because it doesn't help to just read and then, oh, where was I? I don't know. Anyone has any questions up to this point? All right. Next one. Exam objectives will be your Bible. This, you have to know them, every single one of them. The best way, like Professor Messer said, when you take your objectives, you start watching them. And if you cannot explain one, like by mind, then definitely work on that one. So your exam objectives are a must. Like you have to understand every single one of them. They're there for a reason, and they might or might not appear on the exam, but also on the performance-based questions. Next one, my note taker is a digital note taker. So I use Microsoft OneNote because it's free, customizable, convenient, and you can use it on your phone or your computer. I have a couple of windows open already with this right here. I'm gonna interrupt the presentation real quick so I can show you how does it look. So this is how I did it. I would write. 1.0, general security concepts, and then I would define every single concept. And every day I would do my own schedule on how to read them, where to stop, where to continue. So this is 1.0, all this. 2.0 right here takes a little bit to load, but I definitely like this one because it saves automatically and it works perfect, at least for me. And I have everything as I wanted. And from the book, I put it here. And this is my ultimate guide on knowing everything. So I can definitely send you a copy of this, but it's good to write your own notes. I definitely recommend that. All right. So that's the note taker. I did it digitally. You can do it by hand, but it's kind of hard because it's so many words. Second one, quiz exams. Challenge yourself constantly. This is definitely vital for your learning because Dion's exams, if you can do them weekly after reviewing all the objectives, definitely do it and then review the bad ones you had. The next one is the one to my left right here. This is the question bank. You should do 60 plus questions, and this way you're gonna create stamina. So I'm gonna interrupt the presentation again because I pulled it up right here. I pulled that up right here and see, I only did 849 questions. Like that was enough for me to feel ready for the exam. So you go here and then you have all the chapters. And for example, you have 150 questions. And it's so the best way is to first read all the chapter one and then quiz yourself on it because if you only read 1.1 to 1.4 it may ask you a question about 1.5 or something. So it's best to cover all the objectives and then get into this so you don't feel that lost. And here you can go ahead, take the quiz, and you have a couple of questions. When you have it wrong, it tells you right here, I'm gonna help you with this as well. So I do this every day, especially with CISA. All right. Next will be, oh, the Dion. Dion is a very important tool as well because I had a question on the actual exam that was word for word for this. Like literally, I saw the same question here in the actual exam. It was about the purple team or something. So see, my first attempt, I got 64. This is all that I had wrong, so I knew that security operations was the one that I was struggling the most. So I would pay more attention to security operations. On test two, here, see, since I work on security operations, I was a little bit better. Then I had to work a little bit more on threat vulnerabilities and mitigations. And that's how I would do it. Like what I had wrong, I would review the questions here and then the actual objectives. So that's how I did it. And I did it. I never scored 90, like 77. Then I got 73. I did like 8 of these exams, 81. Like if you start scoring like that, 83, and that's where I'm gonna go next. I think the next part is this one. Don't forget to rest. Okay, the 80-80 rule. Okay. So I put don't forget to rest. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. When you're getting tired, don't force yourself. Like, just do something easier or something. In the quizzes, at one point, you're going to get 45, 35s. That means you're tired. Don't be frustrated. Just wait and then do it again. I'm going to help you get this one, like I said before. So, this is the question bank. Don't forget to get with me so I can give you the code word. PBQs. PBQs, don't get intimidated by them. Just make sure you know the objectives. I only had 2 PBQs and I practiced with only Cert Master, but I didn't pay the most attention to it. I should have, but it wasn't a problem, at least for my experience. The main focus is the objectives. Make sure you know them. And then know your logs and how to read them. So definitely learn your logs, try to interpret them and know the types of attacks and mitigations. That's definitely a question that's coming for your exam. 80-80 rule. If you get 380s in a row with Dion's exam that week, you are ready. Just schedule that exam because you're warmed up, you're ready to go. If you keep postponing it, you might forget. So if you get 380s, you go ahead. Have multiple sources. Professor Messer is an excellent source, but shouldn't be the only one. The Security Plus Get Ahead Get Certified is a good supplemental as well. You can read a lot about that. And it has like a pre-test and it has like a bunch of quiz questions and it tells you the explanation. Uh, if you can get your hands on the official CompTIA Security Plus training guide, it's a good resource. That's what I use the most, but that's because the Cert Master brought it in. But definitely try and get that one. It's kind of expensive, so if you can find it online, even better. And then the last one, the one that I have here, the Security Plus practice tests. Definitely, that's the one that is 1,000 practice questions. That's the one you have to do every day. And Udemy, of course, we all know it and love it. I didn't use the course per se, but I did use the exams, like I showed you before. When you get certified, you're gonna get that kit. It has like a square with your name and stuff, and a little card. And then mental note: you will feel frustrated many times. You will doubt. You will get tired. There are days that you won't feel like studying, but it's part of the process, and that's what makes it worth it. There are no hacks, no shortcuts, only you and your effort. Questions?
For the
Yeah.
Dion test, is the website Dion Training?
Yes. Let me see if I think I closed it already, but I have it here. Udemy.com.
Oh,
See,
Udemy.
I bought these.
Can
I
you
bought the two sets. Yes.
can you click into the course and just grab the URL and just drop it in the chat?
Oh, yes. Right here. Let me see if it lets you there. Let me hit back here because it says start course, but the can you guys access that one?
Give me a second.
Because the exams, this is what helped me a lot with knowing my weaknesses and everything. So the exams are a must as soon as you read all the objectives.
Yeah, it works.
For those other resources that you had shown, are you able to do the same thing? Can you quickly browse to them and just drop the links in the chat?
So for the book, I sent it on Discord, which let me open it real quick. Because for that one, you need like a passcode or something that I have it. But they have to put it on their emails, and then it's gonna ask it like, hey, what word is here and there, and then.
I'm just thinking like if someone wanted to purchase the book on Amazon, like if
Oh,
you're
okay,
yeah, if you're watching this live stream, you're not.
okay. One second. CompTIA Security Plus Machines. Yeah, I'll find it real quick. Seven oh. It's 701. I'm getting all 601s here. Second, I'm finding it real quick. Okay, I got it. This is the book. This is the question bank.
Nice.
Set it right there, and then I bought another one right here. This one, get ahead, get certified, right here. And then Microsoft OneNote is the note taker, so that should.
Sorry if you might have covered this, but did you talk about how much time you spent studying for the exam?
So the timeline was from November to March, like November 20th to March. But it's because I've never seen the concepts, so I needed like a little bit of extra time. So I figured until I don't feel comfortable with, when I see an objectives, I know what it is, then I'm not gonna take it. So I waited until that moment.
Okay.
So November, December, January, February, like 4 months. Well, it was March 7th, and I started on November 20th, so 3.5, almost 4 months.
What was
One
your
hour. Mhm.
what was your background before you decided to take this exam? Like, how did you know that you wanted to take Sec Plus, and what did you do before you decided to take Sec Plus?
So before all this, I was in the National Guard. I
Hmm.
didn't know honestly what I wanted to do. Like I had no idea what to do with my life. So my wife suggested it, and it took some time because I actually started with the A plus. The original plan was to get the A plus and get certified on that. But I did little bit of research, and I found the Sec Plus more into what I like, which is cybersecurity.
Hmm.
But I had zero IT background. I had no idea what more than half of these things were. So I was just an assistant teacher and a 12 Bravo. That's it.
So that's an interesting thread there, because you say you started out this process and you didn't did you have any IT training or IT schooling, or did you go to college for IT? Like,
Nothing.
what
All on my own. Like I would, I built my own computer. It was more of a hobby
yeah.
with technology. So, for example, one time I erased by accident on my wife's Mac, I erased TeamViewer. And I don't know what happened that the computer, like the operating system, got wiped for some reason.
Hmm.
And that was my first troubleshooting that I said, okay, this is cool. Even though I messed up big, big time, I started seeing like the diagnostics, and I started asking Google, like, hey, how do I fix this? And I started looking at some coding lines, and I typed them one by one, and it took me like 4 or 5 hours, and I fixed it back up.
Nice.
But that was all, uh, personal experiences, nothing IT related. I have no formal education, nothing. Just that personal. I mean, I set up my own network,
Hmm.
but that's it.
Are there anything aside from these resources, these study materials, that you would suggest somebody who was very similar to your journey, not worked in IT, someone that had not thought about getting into cybersecurity? What kinds of things, in addition to these study materials, would you suggest they do or purchase or have?
I would say that they should have a curious mind
Hmm.
because sometimes what one source says is not like enough, so they have to connect it with another one. So definitely consider if you're good at investigating, definitely get a couple of sources, even if it's free or
Yeah.
something. Get legitimate sources of source material that will complement what you find. For the Sec Plus, Professor Messer is a good one, but sometimes it's a little vague. So get a book, get like the ones that I sent already. That gives like that extra information that you need.
Hmm.
ChatGPT is also a great tool. I didn't write it down, but ChatGPT, you can make it explain stuff in a way that makes you understand. And sometimes I will confuse some concepts, so I will compare them in ChatGPT and I would know the exact difference. So
Gotcha.
definitely, take advantage of AI.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. I don't have any questions on my end. For the others on the call, Jack or Greg, I want to see if you guys had any questions for Ivan because this has been super helpful.
Um, if somebody has the 601 materials, would that help, or they should just get 701 stuff?
Just focus on 701 because I started actually, you reminded me, I started studying for 601 before I got my course, and I had to start all over because it was so different. Like even on the exam objectives, the 601 has like 1,000 plus talking about other stuff, and the 601 has 800 objectives, and they talk way different, way different subjects. So definitely keep your material 701 focused all the time.
Mm.
Like 701 will be your new everything. Like try your best. I mean, some people say it doesn't matter, but to me, it did. So it was. I just said, all right, 701 or nothing. Even if they talk about the same thing, script kiddies and all that, I stick with 701. Especially for the exam because you want to be challenged with 701 stuff. You don't want to learn something that you're not gonna see. So the
Thank you.
objectives is everything. Yep.
I don't have any questions at this time. Thanks, man. This is great.
No problem. And like I said, if you guys need a question bank, let me know what page and stuff like that, and I'll get it to you.
Yeah,
Right
I'll
on.
try to find a way to get with you so I
Yeah,
can get the word on the book.
yeah. Just let me know because I have it right here. So anytime, I'm open to it.
All right. Ivan, thank you so much for sharing what you've learned. And for anybody watching the live stream, if you have any questions, you please feel free to drop them in the chat. We're going to take these links and drop them in the chat. If you have any questions once this is posted, you know, reach out to us and we'll get you connected. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll go ahead and close the stream out.